love in the words I say, peace in the world I make, God in every breath I take, joy in my day, joy in my day. Love in the words we say, peace in the world we make, God in every breath we take, joy in our day, joy in our day. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. Love in the words I say, peace in the world I make, God in every breath I take, joy in my day, joy in my day. Oh, love in the words we say, peace in the world we make, God in every breath we take, joy in our day, joy in our day. God in every breath we take, joy in our day, joy in our day. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher.
Please join me in prayer. We are so grateful to be a part of the one perfect life that is God. And for that life belonging to each and every one of us by divine inheritance. God is perfect, whole, and complete in form and substance. All that God is, we are by divine inheritance and extension. And we give thanks for the opportunity to come together to find the joy and expression here as outlined by our founder, the wonderful Dr. Ernest Holmes. I'm so grateful for everyone who's come together here to make this service possible, and for all who've come to share their love and light and celebration of our connection through that one power that is God. I know that everything that takes place here today will be absolutely perfect as Spirit speaks through young Dr. David to talk with us about the joy of expression. And I give thanks for every beautiful light being, expression of the divine that is in this space with us today, for all of those within the sound of my voice, for all in the city of Aurora, state of Colorado, United States of America and on planet Earth and beyond, wherever God's creatures and creations and unique expressions may be. I release these words into that divine law where they're already done at the intersection of right here and right now. I let this go, I let it be. Together we affirm, and so it is. And so this week, as in last week, we had a heavy dose of Ernest. And all my inspirational words are from Ernest Holmes, from this wonderful book, The Art of Life. It's probably one of his lesser-known works, and I've been really pleased. It's been a wonderful read, and there's just one gem after another in that book. If you don't have a copy, please get one. The first quote from the book: "The power of life within you is a spiritual power, able to bring you permanent peace, increasing happiness and joy, and greater material abundance." That's pretty good news, huh? I've got more good news here. The more life you express, the more of it flows through you. Therefore, every legitimate desire you have is the pushing of this power through you into its own self-expression. In this way, you are in partnership with the infinite. In our last set of words, today I'm going to be enthusiastic. Today I'm going to keenly enjoy everything I do. My mind is at an eternal springtime.
Hello, New Dawn. So good to see you. Oh my gosh. This is what brings joy in my day. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for showing up mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God is good, and I'm grateful for your presence. And speaking of presence, we do have a special guest, a dear friend of Rick's and mine, just moved here from Wyoming this week. Please welcome Joyce Graham. Joyce is a longtime New Thought person, and we're doing our best to twist her arm as hard as we can without bruising to get her to come back. And we're just so grateful you're here, my friend. You make our hearts happy as well. And welcome to my dear friend Carol. Thank you for joining us as well. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, thank you. Well, so yes, as Mickey shared, the fundraiser was a whole lot of fun. And you know, pizza and cheese sticks. I was a very happy camper. So thank you, Mickey. This was the fourth time I think we had been at Bubba's, and gosh, I'm all for a repeat whenever it works. Thank you for your tireless efforts as well, my friend. You're extraordinary. So today we wrap up, as Russell suggested, the art of life. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful expression. So many of us, I'm sorry? Oh, thank you. Better? Okay. See, that's what happens when we're reckless. So today we are thank you so much. Today we are exploring the final day in our series of The Art of Life by Ernest Holmes, as Russell suggested. Yes, I think I would agree with you. One of Ernest's lesser-known works, and one that certainly brings me joy. And today, we get to talk about the joy of expression. So think for a moment about how good it feels to sing out loud in the car, to sing at the top of your lungs. You may or may not know the words. You may or may not know the tune. And, you know, it's like heaven on earth, really. That's just not a Hallmark slogan. That's the spiritual truth. That is what it feels like to express. You've heard me say it before, that as metaphysicians, as folks on a New Thought path, you no longer get to say, oh, I'm not creative, but, right? Every single one of us is creative Because the one power, the one presence that I choose to call God that lives in me and continues to express as me and through me is creative in every moment of every day. Now, I will grant you that there is what the fellow who invented the term flow, being in the flow, his name is Csikszentmihalyi. I've mentioned him before. He offers that there is little c creativity and big C creativity. So little c creativity is when Rick drives a different way to Starbucks in the morning, right? He's exploring something different, but it's not a huge branch out. Big C creativity is when he orders anything except his caramel macchiato, right? He's branching out to try other new and different and exciting things. But sincerely, we all get to be expressive. We all get to be creative. Maybe for our young folks in the audience, you get to be expressive and creative with Halloween, deciding if you're going to participate. Spoiler alert, if I could still go door to door and collect candy, I'm in. And right? And you can be, you can do, you can express however you want to express. And that's what we're talking about today. That joy is our soul's natural state. Think about that, my friends. What if our natural state is joy? What if our natural state is happy? What if our natural state is love? And when we're feeling anything other than that, it's okay. We get to have that human experience. And the frog technique that we've talked about before, first rely on God. So we get to hop back to center, just like a frog, and we get to rely on God. We get to lean into our faith. Many of us have heard this saying, dance like nobody's watching, sing like nobody's listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. And what if that is actually the truth? What if that is the reality? What if this is heaven? And when we release our bodies, when we release our biodegradable flesh suits, we move on to whatever's next. And it may or may not be even more awesome. But what if we choose to engage in that goodness and that gloriousness now? Holmes wrote, "Life is infinite energy, the animating force back of all that exists. The joy of life is ours to experience in every moment." Joy is not something we wait to earn. It's the natural overflow of spirit expressing through us. So I wanted to underscore that point for you. Joy is our birthright. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to be anything. We don't have to buy anything. We get credit simply for being here. Joy is our birthright. It's not something we chase. It's something that's built into us as divine beings. We don't have to qualify for joy. We don't have to fill out a form, right? We only need to clear the obstacles that keep us from noticing it. We get to clear the blocks out of our way. When we recognize that joy is the language of spirit, we begin to live from a place of gratitude and wonder. Excuse me. So I would offer you my birth. It was a joyful moment for my parents, or so I am led to believe. But I had two older brothers, so when my mom had my older brother, Randy was born 6 weeks early, which was kind of a big deal in the mid-50s. So he was what they called a blue baby, and so he developed and he did just fine and was able to wail on me as many big brothers do. But Randy was born first, and then Doug, and his was pretty normal. And what does Irma Bombeck say about normal? Normal is a setting on my dryer, right? Not very interesting. And then I come along, and the day before my mom has me, she has to have an emergency appendectomy. So yeah, I was born on a Tuesday and Monday. They're like, we need to remove your appendix. And then, of course, the doctor, being the responsible people that they said, "Would you like us to get your baby while we're in there?" Again, or so I'm told. Perhaps it was a little more technical than that. But my mom, to use another expression of my grandmother's, my mom looked at him like he fell off a tomato truck. And she said, well, no, he's going to come out when he's ready. And the doctor said, well, we're not exactly sure how that's going to work. And my mom is, I am. It'll work the way it's supposed to work. So they removed her appendix. Excuse me. They couldn't stitch her up, so they put a big gauze covering where her appendix used to be, right? And then, I got kind of ticked off because they invaded my private space, and I decided to make my entrance at 4:08 the next morning. And, Mom said it was as good as could be expected. She did not go into detail, for which I'm grateful. But my point is, there is joy wherever we look for it, right? And my folks were overjoyed, and they had their 3 healthy babies, and that brought them joy in that moment. So joy is our birthright, including being born. Another thing I wanted to share with you is that when we choose to express, it is healing for us, right? Whatever you choose to do, if you dance, if you sing, if you create, if you're a woodworker, if you build, if you sing, if you are involved in technology, expression is healing. And Carol, may I tell a little bit about your story and your talent when you were in the pageant world? So I did not have this written down, but it's one of my all-time favorites, as are you. So Carol is a former Mrs. Colorado, and she has some extraordinary talents that include singing and playing spoons, singing and lyrical dance. And she has worked with the pageant for years, helping people who came after her. And then as a part of her service, as a part of how she continues to give, she visits nursing homes, assisted living centers, and continues to bring joy and continues to express in that regard, right? So whatever limits you are putting on yourself, those are just limits that you are putting on yourself. So bless you, my friend. Thank you for your expressions and the positiveness of those expressions as healing. And I shared with you, I think, a couple of weeks ago, that this past week was joyfully full in that I had 3 weddings and 3 funerals. And one of the funerals one of the weddings that I had the opportunity to attend, I didn't officiate, I attended. It was on a Tuesday night at a very Christian-looking church with 3 crosses out in front. And inside, the bride and groom were lovely, and the groom's father is a rabbi, and he is of African descent. And so it was a fascinating cultural experience, and the bride did 7 circles around the groom, as is custom in the Jewish tradition. They had 7 readings from under the chuppah, underneath the canopy, that were just lovely. And one of the things that just made my heart happy is the reason I was there is we knew the bride. My dance partner, my dear friend Pam, and I knew the bride. So we went to support Jessica. We met her husband, the groom, for the first time, and they met salsa dancing. So I was like, this is going to be a fun party. And so we went to the reception, and not only did they do a great job on the first dance, but the father of the bride, Jessica's father, is a longtime dance instructor. And he had been dancing and had students and studios in the Denver area for decades. And she literally grew up dancing with her father. So this father-daughter dance was something for social media. And in speaking with people, it was not choreographed. They just started the music, and Jessica and her dad got out there and did what brought them joy, yeah? And it was beautiful, and it was healing, and everyone was coming together so brilliantly. So when we allow ourselves to express, maybe it's laughter, maybe it's dance, maybe it's tears, maybe it's song, maybe it's movement, we release the pressure of holding it all in. Some of us have had the experience of a good cry. Maybe it's a good dance. Maybe it's a good scream. Maybe it's a good run. And one of the memorials I did this week, this delightful woman was 72 years old. She was married, 6 kids, 15 grandkids. She was a home economics teacher. And her work during the pandemic, she made 600 masks for friends and family. And she also made sleeping bags. So that was her gift to humanity, and that's what she did. And what she did for herself, she was a marathon runner. She ran more than 30 marathons, including 2 JFK 50-mile runs. And I just couldn't help myself. I said to the assembled guests, I love my family dearly, and I'm not going to be running a marathon with them anytime soon. So again, expression is healing, whatever that looks like for you. It makes space for healing. It makes space for renewal. It makes space for whatever you are calling in and what you want to create in your life. When we silence our voice or we dim our light, it creates stagnation. Expression sets us free. Every act of expression is spirit moving through us toward wholeness. Rick and I were in the community that we still love, and I know many of you have been to. We were at Mile High one Sunday, and this was several years ago now. And we were sitting there enjoying the service, being congregants, and participating and doing our thing. And then at the end of the service, we were getting ready to leave the sanctuary, and I felt this tap on my shoulder. And this woman who I didn't know, she said, Reverend Goldberg? And I said, yes, help me with your name. Do I know you? And she said, no, but I know you through the magazine when I was working with Science of Mind magazine. She said, I was watching you through this service. I was sitting just a few rows back, and your light, your energy was so bright, I almost had to come up and ask you to turn down your light. And I thought, how sweet. Thank you for acknowledging my presence. Thank you for acknowledging my aura. And I didn't know what to say in that moment. So I kind of took that as a learning opportunity and thought about it and prayed about it, and Rick and I visited about it and meditated about it. And what I came to was, if I would have been grounded and centered in that moment, I'm thinking a better response would have been, thank you. I'm so grateful that you acknowledged my light. And with respect, it is not my intention to dim my light for anybody. I invite you to raise your light, right? So if there's anything in there for you, my friends, don't dim your light for anyone. Our giant souls with short legs, let your light shine. You be you. You get to do you in the best way that you know how, and you're the only one who can do it. So yeah, expression is healing. And the other thing that I would share with you is what we know so well in this community, and as metaphysicians in general, is that joy shared is joy multiplied. Holmes reminds us we are all part of the great life which flows through everything. When we share our joy, whether through a smile, a kind word, a song, we ignite joy in others. Joy expressed becomes contagious, uplifting communities and transforming the world. Another book that perhaps you all have studied, I know many of us are familiar with, Dr. Roger Teal's Dr. Roger Teal's book, This Life is Joy. You know, out of anything that Roger could have written about, he chose joy. And I think there's something there for all of us. And, speaking of joy, I've shared this with you a bit, but Rick just started painting with watercolor in January. And now he's already doing commissions. He's had his first show. He has a whole line of cards. It's really pretty extraordinary to watch him unfold in his magnificence, in his creativity. To be clear, he still dances down the stairs in the morning, and I'm the morning guy, and it kind of ticks me off, but he's very happy, and he's found a new community with his painting community. And so he is happy, right? He's happy to be able to do what he can do and be so expressive. And he's happy to be surrounded by so many people who share the same vision and the same goal. And I find it fascinating that all of these people are working on the same work. They call it a reference painting, and maybe it's aspen trees, and maybe it's a mailbox, or maybe it's an airplane, and they are all so extraordinarily different, and they're all kind. They all love each other's work. Some are abstract, some are impressionist, some are more realist, and they're nice to each other. And that's something that I appreciate New Dawn and what we do here, is that when we share our joy, it becomes contagious. And that is what we know to be true. When we raise our energy, it raises the energy of the community, which in turn raises the energy of the world. So, if like me, you have a hopeless moment from time to time, what can I do? How can I show up? What do I need to do? I can't travel all over the world. I can't write big checks. I can't fix everything, blah, blah, blah. No, but I can work on myself. And I can express my creativity, and I can express my joy, and maybe it's as simple as a compliment. I love your costume. That was a beautiful song. That was a glorious expression of work, right? When I say those words, that raises my energy, that raises our energy, that raises the energy on the planet, and that is something you can do right now. So, what are a few ways that we practice joy of expression here at New Dawn? Through music and through celebration. Our songs, our meditations, our rituals are joyful expressions of spirit. And as we think about that, my friends, and as we are on the last Sunday of October already, oh my goodness, I invite you to be with us in November when our book for the month of November is the Dalai Lama's Big Book of Happiness. I love that. So that's what we'll be exploring. Actually, there are 5 Sundays in November. We'll be exploring that for the first 4 Sundays. And then on the last Sunday in November, we're starting a new series on Advent, because the first Sunday of Advent, for those who are familiar, falls on November 30th. So we're going to be doing a 4-part series on Advent through a new thought lens. So that'll be November 30th, and then the 7th, 14th, and 21st. If you know your 7 multiplication tables, you've got the Sundays in December, right? So, and then also on December 21st, that will be our special Christmas celebration. And we have a double header, we have a double bill, we have Ken Jansen and Karen Karsh. Oh my gosh. So please plan to be with us for that celebration. Yes, a celebration is something this community does extraordinarily well. The other way that we practice joy of expression at New Dawn is through authenticity. It is our intention to create safe spaces where everyone can share their truth and tell their story. I don't need to agree with you, but we do want and need to create a safe space where everyone can share. And then finally, one of the ways that we do that is through outreach, as Marty shared so beautifully, through Kindred Spirits, through outreach, through expressing love in action, we multiply joy beyond our walls into the wider community. And to be clear, this was happening long before I got here, and it's my joy and my honor to support that process. So my invitation for you this week, my practical invitation, is to let yourself express joy in one new way. Tell a stranger hello. Send somebody a text if you're not a texter, or write an email. Try something new and different for you. Sing in the shower. Create something playful, or tell someone how much they mean to you. My friends, joy expressed is joy expanded. The mystic Hafiz wrote, "I am whole in the flute that the Christ's breath moves through." Listen to this music. Friends, the music of spirit is joy. Let it play through you. If you join me in prayer, and if our practitioner prayer partners would please stand and join me. Infinite Spirit, I know that joy is my birthright. I open myself to express it fully and freely. I share my light, my laughter, my song, my painting, and my love, knowing that as I express joy, I invite joy into the world. So as we go forth on this day, I live my joy, I speak my joy, I dance my joy, I express my joy as the one power, the one presence in me continues to animate the physical expression of each and every one of us. So I release, I let go. I know a joy-filled week ahead for all within the sound of my voice. Life is magnificent. Thank you, Spirit. All is well. And we anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, far away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. Blood bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. We are warriors, yeah, that's what we'll become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we're glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. This is me. I know I deserve your love. There's not anything I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen.